we've been doing things the same way, expecting something to change, and that's insanity. The national goals of education are very beautiful statements, but the truth is, on the ground, we focus on examinations.
The millimeter is the smallest.
So eventually you end up with somebody who knows so much, but has experienced little and can do nothing with the knowledge that they have to make their lives better.
The traditional mode of education is show up, listen to the teacher,
104.
memorize the facts, regurgitate them on a test, get high scores, and the rest of your future is planned out based on your test scores. So if you're a good memorizer, you succeed. If you're right-brained, you get left behind. It destroys and inhibits all kinds of creativity, and the challenges that these communities face require creative solutions.
We're not going to solve the problem of 80 students in one teacher. We are not even approaching trying to get more teachers in a classroom. What we're trying to do is get a teacher more effective in the way she teaches.
To know how far it is on the map.
That's our focus, is accelerating the learning under the conditions that they now have.
We have seen programs coming in, but they are not geared towards supporting the existing program. This kind of program is very important because it is supporting the existing curriculum.
And that's the beauty of it. It does not bring in different content, neither does it make the teacher, feel like they are overloaded with and within the curriculum. It's just doing the same thing they have been doing, but in a different way, because you find that a teacher who uses the IOL approach would be able to look at the child as a whole, as an individual, and then understand now this individual, what do they need to do to be able to get to be the product that the national goals of education are telling us that ought to be the product of the system.
Because you say that the petals, they are brightly colored. Then this one now.
I believe what has been lacking is training. Many of us think that the answer to our poverty lies in the resources, yeah? And you will see very many well-wishers come into the country and give in a lot of money, but yet still the country has lots of people who are very poor.
Many of organizations that are focused on education are focused on tools and resources. So books, desks, the classroom building, which are all important components. What do you put inside the classroom? IOL becomes a collaborative environment.
Someone stand and tell us what they would want to be when they grow up.
I would like to be a politician.
A politician? What's your name? Because when you hear politicians talk, there is someone behind the scenes who sat down and wrote whatever they are saying. When you see our president addressing the nation, there is someone behind there who has written what he's telling you. Do you know that?
Yes.
It's not just the memorization and regurgitation of facts, but it's how does this apply to my life? I'm not just reading a story and saying, Jane said this, but it's, Jane felt this, why? She told a lie, what does that mean? Do I know people who don't tell lies and who do tell lies? How do I apply this in my own life? It's not mathematics 2 + 2 = 4. It's how do I calculate how much wood we're going to need to put an extension on my home? This is math that matters.
What we learn in class has very little to do with the realities out there. When a problem, you encounter problems with your fellow people or the persons living around you, how do you deal with it if you do not have the skills to do so? Critical thinking is something that will help our society. Many of us deal with issues without necessarily thinking about them. I feel the program is creating a bridge between content and real life situations. And to me, a program that can bring practicality, closer home is the program to go for. Now these children are coming from homes where there's plenty of poverty, there's a lot of abuse, there's a lot of immorality, in their society, the environment is harsh. And so they are coming to class with a lot of, unstable thoughts and so many things going through their mind. Yeah? And we all know that if we have a lot of confusion from within, it is very difficult for us to get information right inside us. When they come in the morning, there is a technique that will help them to bring them to that moment, at that point where there is no immorality, there is no poverty, there is no those harsh conditions. Music has a way of organizing them and helping them realize that that particular moment is not threatening, regardless of the fact that after they leave school, they will still meet the same realities.
We come together in the morning, the teachers with the children, we sing together. So by singing together, we also bring down the teachers to the level of the children. The children they become free with the teachers. They communicate with the teachers freely without any fear. And as they go to their classrooms now, they are fresh in their minds and they retain whatever will be taught by their teachers.
We have even children that used not to talk. They were kind of dumb. They could not even speak to the teachers, not even communicate. But after now showing them the methodology, maybe like reading a story, asking them a question, participation of the children and the teachers, it has really helped because they can now communicate. They can now answer questions. They can now be friends with these teachers and see that they have a relationship.
It brings together the teacher and the pupils. They really share a lot. When you teach, let's say a story, you narrate a story, and then the pupils come and they narrate again the story. It goes deep into their mind. They won't forget the story there.
I think learning becomes more interesting to the kids. As a teacher, I'm excited about the IOL methodology because it will make my work easier. Because now I'll be able to actually know that the kids are really getting what I'm teaching.
They are really involved. As they ask the question, they're involved in the class. And the class becomes active. Learning becomes real.
I think the IOL angle of maybe insisting that we must have the practical approach is very effective.
What connection does radius and diameter have?
You see, we had the teaching aids, and actually I had what they use at home. Now that is very different because in most of the teachings that we do in mathematics, we are so much concerned with calculations. But I found it very interesting that I can involve the children and then they measure and then they tell me what they come up with. And I found my teaching very enjoyable. And in fact, for the first time, I taught and children clapped when I finished.
Our whole approach is a leap ahead. We'll never catch them up. Any of the third world countries will not be able to catch up. Everything's moving too quickly. So what we have to do is leap them ahead. We're not going to go back and take them through the whole process. We're going to jump them on the learning curve, take where we are now and bring them there and let them learn from everything that has taken place.
Why is everyone gathered on the King's Highway?
And by using technology, you bring the best and the brightest, whether it's a student studying international studies at a university that is dumping into the pool of learning, whether it's a government official that's saying our school systems are not working, we're educating students, but we still have not been able to turn around the economy They're not being creative and thinking about new jobs or new environments. We're having a problem with the family breaking down.
It's teaching people how to fish. Food disappears. There have been billions of dollars poured into communities, and we've seen some progress, but not nearly what you might expect with the revenue and the resources that have been poured into countries. That's what IOL does, is it connects the knowledge that's out there on the outside with the hearts and the minds and the will of those who are on the inside.
I would ask you, for how long would you want to support the organization you want to support? And if your answer is forever, then I think IOL might not be the organization to support. But I believe if your support means that you will be teaching this individual how to fish, then I would recommend that you support the IOL.